The Potato People by Pamela Allen. Every Friday, Jack's mother works. Every Friday, Jack spends the day with Grandma. This is Grandma's house. They play hide and seek, they romp roly-poly on the ground, they read stories, and they eat cake. One Friday, the clouds were big and black, and the rain dribbled down the window panes and rattled on the tin roof. "It's raining," sighed Jack. "I know," said Grandma, as she went to the cupboard and brought out a big box. Inside the box were 4 potatoes. "I'm going to make a little potato man," said Jack. "I'm going to make a little potato woman," said Grandma. And they did. Grandma placed them carefully on the windowsill. "There," said Grandma. "There," said Jack. "They look pleased with each other," said Grandma. "We're pleased with each other too," said Jack. Then one day, Jack and his mother had to go away for a while. That Friday, Jack didn't come. He didn't come the Friday after that, or the Friday after that. Lots of Fridays went by and still Jack didn't come to visit Grandma. Gradually, the little potato people wrinkled and withered. Gradually, their smiles drooped and twisted. Now Grandma called them the little old potato man and the little old potato woman. She looked at herself in the mirror. "I'm just like them," thought Grandma, and she sat down and she sighed. One day, a stalk sprouted on the head of the little old man. "He's growing horns," thought Grandma. Then a stalk sprouted on the head of the little old woman. "She's growing horns too," thought Grandma. The horns grew and grew. At last, Grandma could bear it no longer. She said goodbye to the little old potato man and the little old potato woman, and she buried them outside in the compost heap. But Jack didn't know, because Jack wasn't there. Soon a shoot appeared above the ground, then another and another. Up they grew, up they grew, until they were so high that Grandma couldn't see over the top. "Tambourines and treacle darts!" exclaimed Grandma. At last, one Friday when the clouds were big and black and the rain dribbled down the window panes and rattled on the tin roof, there was a knock at the door. "Jack!" gasped Grandma, and they hugged and hugged. They played hide and seek, they romped roly-poly on the ground, they read stories, and they ate cake. "Grandma," asked Jack, "what happened to our little potato people?" "I buried them outside in the compost heap," said Grandma, "and they grew and grew." "Let's go and look," said Jack. So they put on their raincoats, put on their gumboots, and went out in the rain to see. But all they could see were the stalks, now brown and dead, lying on top of the ground. So Grandma fetched a big fork, and Jack fetched a little fork, and they dug and they dug and they dug. First, Grandma found 1 potato. Then Jack found 2 potatoes. 1 potato, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes, 4. 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potatoes more, sang Grandma. They found big potatoes and they found little potatoes. Soon there were hundreds and hundreds of potatoes. "Tambourines and treacle tarts!" exclaimed Grandma. When there were no more potatoes left to dig, they hung up their forks, they took off their raincoats, they put away their gumboots, they washed their hands, and Grandma dried her hair. "Grandma," said Jack. "Yes," said Grandma. Let's make a little potato man and a little potato woman. And they did.